hate to break the fishing news after Ramchuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Real Life Podcast. It's been a week since we've dropped a new pod. It is a bit of a different crew today. Jay is gone. Chalmers is gone. BM, Wanye, and Liam is swinging by to join us as well.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Liam. Plenty for us to get to today. It has been almost a week since the Oilers Nation Open. We're going to recap that. We got a big Leon Draisaitl extension to talk about, but we want to start the show on a little bit of a more somber note. As we were all waking up bright and early on Friday for the Oilers Nation Open, we were all, like all of you listening, hit with the news about the passing of Johnny Gaudreau, the Columbus Blue Jacket, obviously former Calgary Flame as well, killed in a drunk driving accident on late Thursday night. I mean, the whole story, everyone's heard it, and all the details around it, and his sister's wedding. It's heartbreaking. And in hockey, I think those two organizations have been hit with just a crazy amount of heartbreak over the last couple of years with Calgary and Chris Snow. And you think about Columbus and Mattis Kivlenieks a couple of years ago as well. And now you had Gaudreau on top of this. But I mean, obviously a hell of a hockey player. There's no doubt about that. But everything you hear and the posts coming from his family and stuff just break your heart even more. So we wanted to start again on a somber note. And it was weird Friday for the Oilers Nation Open. Again, one of our favorite days of the year, a day where we go raise a bunch of money for charity and we all have a good time. And then the hockey world was also mourning at that same time. It was a weird feeling getting to the course on Friday.
Yeah, even so I was running the super ticket table with Dan when everybody was signing up, and just kind of listening to what everybody was talking about as they were approaching the table. Everybody was talking about Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you don't really believe it at the time. You see the graphics, you see the release, but it didn't make any sense because, young man, both of them are young men, both he and his brother Matthew. And then you read about how it was the night before his sister's wedding, and just the story is sad on every possible level. And it just gets worse and worse the more you kind of read about it.
Yeah, I saw someone say that, like, even if you wrote tragedies for a living, you couldn't write something this tragic, is what they said. And it's like, yeah, every angle. It was a few days before his anniversary. I mean, his younger brother, Matthew, his wife pregnant with their first child, like so many different angles of this that are just absolutely gut wrenching. And now, I mean, obviously we've seen all of the tributes so far. Calgary with a beautiful one last night. With
Columbus too.
Yeah, Columbus had a great one, and their current players coming and all kind of giving a statement of what Johnny meant to them. So, yeah, all of it. It's heartbreaking, man, and it sucks. And we're probably, I was talking with someone the other day, and it's like we're probably going to get hit with another wave of it yet when the season begins. Sure. And I'm sure the NHL's got something planned for that too. But we'd be remiss if we didn't start the podcast with a little bit of talk about Johnny Gaudreau, who was obviously a big part of Battles of Alberta for many, many years, was a thorn in our side on the ice, and was obviously, in the hearts of Flames fans for all those years. And yeah, the passing is just really, really sad. So again, the tributes will pour in over the next month and a bit until the season starts. I would imagine they're going to do some sort of 13 thing for all the teams to kind of have for the rest of the year. But I don't think anything like this is, at least in my time being a hockey fan and being alive, where like a star player like this passes away in their prime. The only other thing I could think of was when Jose Fernandez, the pitcher for the Marlins, died a few years ago, and how that kind of shook the sports world. But man, I mean, it was wild. Again, just sitting there, and even throughout the course of the weekend, always thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, and like last night I was watching some of the tributes from Calgary and Columbus, and just seeing what he meant to his teammates and the fan bases, and you could see how much he meant to everybody. It was heartbreaking, man. Like Michael Backlund's speech that he gave was tough. The players from Columbus, they spoke, Don Waddell spoke, just tough to listen to, right? Like I said, no matter what happens or no matter what you read, it just gets worse and worse, and just can't help but feel for the family and friends and teammates, and countless people affected by it.
Yeah. And again, it's never easy to transition off of this. And obviously we haven't released an episode since last Thursday, and the incident happened on Thursday night, but still we wanted to just, start the podcast with that and join the chorus of voices in the hockey community who are sending their thoughts to the Gaudreau family. Another thing that obviously happened over the last little bit was the Leon Draisaitl extension. And apparently, the Oilers had an initial plan to announce this on Friday morning.
Yeah, that was Andy Strickland reported that, right?
Yeah, Andy Strickland reported that the deal was done and they were ready to go with the announcement on Friday morning. And then obviously with the Johnny Gaudreau thing, they held back, which makes sense. And it's good that the Oilers decided to do that. But that came down the pipe on, was it Tuesday? Tuesday after the long weekend.
Tuesday after the long weekend.
That Leon Draisaitl signed up. He's sticking around. He's committed to being an Oiler for basically his entire career. And we've all been consumed with that the last couple of days here at the Nation. It ends a summer that is just like crazy busy from a news perspective for the Oilers. Like BM, in all your time running the site, I guess Wanya too. Can you ever remember a summer where there was not more than 2 weeks where the Oilers were consistently in the news, making like big headlines?
Well, the summer only lasted. When was the cup awarded? Like
24th.
Yeah. So the summer was what?
Yeah.
9 weeks.
Yeah.
That's wild as fuck.
I think of like the busy summer that I remember before this one was the one when they went and signed Ben Eager, Darcy Hordachuk, and Eric Belanger. All three of them. I'm like, mark that down as a win for the old Oilers.
I think that this is, we talked about it earlier. We did an episode of Wanya's World, and we just yammered about this the whole time. But for Kennedy and like Liam's generation, your Ramtrick, I'll lump you in, even though you're the oldest person here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's their anti-Smitty moment. Right, BM? Because like
Even before that.
well, but Smitty jumping, right? And like us being so livid, we made Oilers Nation, right? Here, the generational fan favorite guy, we have the means to save him and keep him. And not only keep him long term with the biggest contract in the NHL. It's a very coming of age moment for Edmonton as a market.
Well, as I was doing kind of my thing on Better Late Than Never, I was thinking about like when I was younger, and like I was too young to see Gretzky and Messier shipped off. But what I do remember was Doug Waite couldn't afford to keep him. Bill Guerin couldn't afford to keep him. Cujo couldn't afford to keep him. And it was just kind of like part of the cycle of being an Oilers fan.
David Oliver couldn't afford to keep him.
Exactly.
I remember when we couldn't afford to keep David Oliver, man.
And I just think of like what a seismic shift from what I remember when I was a kid, where now you've got one of the best players in the league. Not only is he willing to stick it out in Edmonton for, if he plays out this contract, it's his entire career, but the commitment from the organization to him, huge money.
I remember the summer before, or the spring before Connor got drafted, there was a story in the Globe and Mail that they did an anonymous poll of NHL players. Where's the least likely place for you to play? Where do you want to play the least? And it was Edmonton. I got so mad because nobody on the Oilers came out to say they like it here. So I wrote this article in Oilers Nation, spazzing, telling everybody off, got a bunch of reads, felt good about myself, felt like I did my part. We are not that market anymore. No. And the fact that Leon and Connor have made the commitment, you could make Connor, still hasn't been announced, obviously, but one would think he's going to stay. That's an amazing thing, man, for us to be graced with a Gretzky, Messier, and a Connor and Leon since 1979. Like, are you kidding me?
But like righting the wrong of losing them too, right?
Well, exactly.
It's wild. Highest AAV in NHL history. 14 Schmilly, and Frank Saravalli, he said it a handful of times on different platforms, and he said it today on the return of the DFO rundown. Connor McDavid as an Oiler for his entire career, 100%. And Draisaitl in his press conference, it was so funny when they asked him. Yeah. And he was like, well, it's all about doing right for yourself, and I did right for me, and Connor's going to do right for him. And I hope he signs. And it's like, good Lord. Like, Jeff Jackson doesn't take this job if he doesn't think Connor McDavid wants to be an Oiler for life. Leon Draisaitl's not extending. If Leon thinks there's a chance that Connor leaves, he signs a 2-year deal and goes, I'll just run this back again when the cap goes up at 31.
There was certain people saying he should have maximized his earnings by taking like the Matthews deal.
Yeah, like so Matthews did what? A 4 and then a 5?
5, like maximize his earnings. I get it.
But I don't, also a UFA at 33 or 34, you're not getting the biggest ticket.
But I understand the idea behind it, I guess is what I'm getting at. Yeah. But like Matthews didn't sign if Matthews was with the Oilers, he probably would have signed an 8-year deal too because he had Connor McDavid next to him.
Yeah.
Like you can do that all you want and maximize your earnings, but also there's a reason why the Leafs are in the spot that they are. And the Oilers have been to 2 Western Conference finals in the last 3 years and been to a Stanley Cup final.
I say they extend Marner for $15 million.
I'd say 16.
I'm with you.
Don't want to run a risk.
Yeah.
Just get the deal.
Match the jersey number, 16 schmilly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Connor's lucky to have Leon, and Leon's lucky to have Connor. I think we can all agree that Connor elevated Leon's game, right? Even though they're not always playing together. Leon Draisaitl has been the recipient of many a Connor McDavid pass, and he has parlayed that into the largest contract in NHL history. But also, I think Connor's really lucky to have Leon because he has somebody that is his peer, which is virtually impossible if you're Connor McDavid. He also gets along with, let's be honest, old Concon's probably not the easiest guy to get along with, but he also takes a lot of the pressure with the media off him and leadership in the room. And Connor can kind of be self-contained and media trained out the wazoo. Leon will go say a couple controversial things to get lightning strikes on him. And it really gives Connor, I think, a lot less burden of leadership.
Totally.
Like,
that's what I was just going to say. Like when the Oilers fail, you never hear it's Connor's fault. You hear Connor and Leon, right? Like
it's because it's not Connor's fault.
Well, that too.
They're almost like both sides of the same coin in a way where, yeah, I agree with you that they take pressure off each other. They love playing together. And clearly listen, I was watching the Draisaitl presser after the contract was done.
So happy.
And it was just audio porn for Oilers fans. Like that's all it was. It was like, it was always going to be the Oilers. It was just like all that. I love putting this jersey on. More than anything. It was just everything you would want him to say. He said it.
Also, small thing, and I talked about it on Owen every day, the amount of times he referred to Edmonton as our home, or he went
You've
to
been seeing the Celeste Instagram thing where it's like, I'm so happy that we get to continue our life in Edmonton that we're building. I'm like, yay.
We're so lucky, man, because if Lauren Kyle and Celeste Desjardins didn't like it here,
we
are fucked. We are.
No, it's so
especially
true.
like they're marrying these gals. Connor's already engaged. Leon are married. Leon's engaged. Children assumedly to follow. We're so lucky that this is happening here because there have been plenty of NHLPA wives who did not like Edmonton, and it didn't matter what the old man's wanted.
Like who?
Well, like Nylander, that wife.
He was out before he even got here.
Yeah. Vanek's wife.
Thomas Vanek?
Wife. Mrs. Vanek, she hated it here. She said specifically,
Thomas Vanek.
Buffalo's going to need to match that because I hate Edmonton. She said at the time.
Yeah, that was the old offer sheet summer. That was Thomas Vanek and then Dustin Penner.
She stepped in.
Whew.
He gets married.
What a time to be alive.
I believe her name is Julia.
Ashley.
Yep.
I just think it's awesome.
Get doxed.
I just love everything about the Oilers locking in one of the best players on earth and that he's happy to be here and that they've got the means to pay him and that Connor's going to happen next year and we're all going to celebrate and we're all going to enjoy Maple Leafs fans being sad.
We are on the verge of, sorry to interrupt, an 8-year contract, 1 more year. So in the next 9 years, how many looks at a cup will the Oilers have?
Probably
5?
8.
9.
Well, every year is a cup year now.
That was my
9
reproductive system doubling in size due to extreme contentment.
It's something, man. And yeah, I also think, and what's fascinating about it from like a nerdy hockey perspective is, do the Oilers change their mindset and approach at all? Are you sitting there going, okay, we need to be competitive this year, next year, year after, but we also need to be competitive now when those guys are 34, 35, 36?
Do you not think they've already started to do that?
How so?
They brought in like 4 young players this year.
Savoy.
Jarventi. I know that he's not a stud, but he's an NHL player. Hopefully, looks to be. I think they've already kind of set that mindset of like, we need to bring in younger players too to help them. And not necessarily guys that are going to be in that top 6 like a Jarventi, but he's probably going to be able to contribute in the bottom 6 for a few years.
Yeah.
So I think they've already, adjusted to it.
Speaking of prospects, Liam, do you think now the Oilers will go get Reed Schaefer back from Nashville? Now that the Draisaitl contract's been announced, is this now
that's what was holding them back?
Opening the door to bring him home?
Covey is? I hope not.
Well, I thought you were going to say he's not an NHLer.
Well, I mean, either way, read between the lines, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Stephen Ellis said when he was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
I thought that Leon was going to bring him up in the presser and just maybe say,
didn't give him a shout out at all, eh?
Just shout out to Reed. We're trying to bring you home. Yep. I'm here. You're next.
I was going to take 14.75, but I said leave money for Reed.
Leave some on the table for Reed.
He's a good man.
I like Connor regramming his boy, right?
Of course. Way to go, 29 or whatever.
So boring.
Way to go, 29. Thumbs up.
Long on hockey, short on talkie. That's our Connor.
That is funny. That is a good point you bring up too. That like if you were to go back and be like, all right, 10 most memorable post-game press conference clips from the Oilers in the last 10 years. I don't think there's a single McDavid one. There's probably 6 Leon Draisaitl one.
Because he's always saying hilarious shit. And like, even when you watch that presser, when they're like, so are you happy? There was like a whisper of a smile on his face. And then the German kicked in and pummeled those feelings of happiness to death. Like, you're the richest man in the league. Yeah, well, got to get pucks deep. Like, he didn't have any happiness to report. So when you see him miserable on the bench, it's because that's how he looks. It's not because he's miserable. That's his fucking face. Even when he made $162 million US or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
He didn't smile.
The fact you bring up the US thing, I actually find really interesting. So, people are always talking about the tax advantages you get from living in like a Nashville or a Florida and stuff. There's a massive advantage to signing a ticket like that and getting USD and living in Canada.
Oh, it's a nice
100%.
little 30% lift.
But Leon is an EU citizen. I don't think he's a Canadian citizen. He'd be taxed so crazily, like unless he's leaving his money in North America. But even still,
He probably is.
but he has to file a tax return in all the states where he plays a game. You pay Boston tax on the game against the Bruins. You
It's
pay
by day.
California tax for your games in LA.
It's where you worked.
So once he's paid all his North American taxes, then he brings it back to the EU and gets taxed again as a foreign resident.
That's why he's got that Puma sponsorship, though.
He probably doesn't do that.
He probably doesn't go back to EU.
He probably doesn't have if anything, he probably has
you
a
would know.
Swiss bank account.
But he's still going to be getting taxed at like crazy rates again because he's a European citizen.
Because I don't understand. Because are you saying he has a bank account in Germany?
I'm saying at the end of the day, he's German citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
No, but that's
German,
like Liam. Liam doesn't have to pay British
I
taxes.
don't pay taxes in England.
But you're not living in Europe anymore.
But neither
No,
is he.
but
He's a
he
resident
is-
of Canada.
He's living in Spain. He has a house in Europe and shit.
Oh, I see.
But I don't think that's where he'd be. I bet you he's a.
I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like 6 months plus a day, like he's playing that game.
I heard that all the Euros get taxed like beyond insanely because at the end of the day, after they pay all their North American taxes, then that money has to go home.
The good news is
I have no
he's
idea.
by the time this contract's done, he's going to be just under 200 million.
The good news is
Career
even if it's a 93% effective tax rate, he still nets 12 million US a year.
Well, Tyler and I were talking about before we started recording that his contract is so bulletproof in terms of like buyouts and all that stuff. Not that they would ever, but like every July 1st, he gets something like $15 million dropped in his bank account. Just the best.
I'd love to be sitting on the deck with Connor and Leon as their phones notify them that they each received the GDP of Belize.
Yeah. I was even just thinking like Tyler, and again, we were talking before, just what it must be like to sit down with a pen in your hand and sign that document. To know that you've got $112 million coming your way.
I bet you Connor, every year he gets his 10, he's mad. He's like, oh, I got to call Cam. This is going to take 45 minutes. Cam, yeah, money, you see it? I see it, Connor. Ah, fuck. You guys want to sit in an a big old bath of ice and look out into the woods. But
That's
Leon's going to have
when he smiles in the offseason is when he's sitting in his ice bath and he sees the check hit his account and then he puts his phone down and he's back and staring at the forest.
I think Connor's annoyed I think he's dissociative of the money that he makes because he's so singularly focused on winning the cup. I bet you Connor takes no joy in like making lots of money. I think he's like, I got what I need the fucking cup. He doesn't strike me as like particularly materialistic. Like, what does he like?
Draisaitl's more likely to have a sick car.
Yes. Connor likes to spend his time training for hockey. That's his interest. You know what I mean? And like he gets all the free BioSteel he can drink.
Well, it's even like when Lauren would post those videos of them on walks and he's doing like wind sprints up the hill and shit like that. It's like, you're a lunatic. Actually,
when he did that run on Lauren's LK1's Insta stories, it's like, look, we're running and this is so fun. And he's like running flat out and she's keeping up. But then like the fact he's Connor McDavid kicks in and he goes around the corner and just accelerates and is gone. Like, we are so fortunate that the greatest athlete in the world is running above Laurier Park dog park or whatever the fuck it is. He could be anywhere, man. The fact that he's here, like, you should take pause.
did you call her LK1?
Yeah. Do you know why?
I'm Lauren Kyle 1. I'm
Is her
assuming.
Instagram handle
But now she's Lauren McDavid.
on Instagram?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
Did you
in
make the
real life.
change?
I don't believe that's the case because it's Kyle Design and Co. And I don't think she would change her name for
Oh, Mikhail Design.
But I call her LK1 because it's Lauren Kyle 1.
I'm going to change my
Just the fact that they're setting up routes here too is just
LH1.
like they're planting.
K1.
No, that's going to be mine.
Oh,
LH1.
Yes.
All
I
right.
don't know who the
Which
original
Instagram
Lauren
though? Like,
Kyle.
what is that one
I'll
dedicated
make a
to?
new one just for what my nickname account.
I don't know who the hell Lauren Kyle not one is, but Connor needs to pay to have that bitch go away from Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
As an anniversary present.
So Leon's now been in Western Canada since he was 16 years old when he came to play for the PA Raiders. And Liam brought up something that was very interesting the other day.
Would you like to know one, you?
Indeed.
So, are you familiar with the CHL import draft?
Yes.
Oh, you were telling me about this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So the CHL import draft is every single team in the CHL gets to pick some European players. They cannot do that in their other draft. The second overall pick was Leon Draisaitl to PA. The third overall pick was owned by the Erie Otters, who Connor McDavid played for.
Oh, shit.
And that following year would have been McDavid's exceptional rookie status year.
So had they waited one more pick and they got him, Connor and Leon would have played junior together?
Yeah.
Oh, fanfic.
Crazy.
But then would Liam or would Leon have still gone, or Liam, would Leon still have gone third overall
If he was getting them dishes from McDavid and Junior?
the 17-year-old McDavid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Especially like in an alternate universe, Sam Bennett knows how to do a couple of chin-ups and then the others draft him.
All right, now let me ask you this, Tyler, because I feel like you are an authority on past, present, and future. They retire Oilers. Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
It's more than the 8 and maybe 10-year, 9-year contract Connor's going to get. What's the longest term Connor can get?
8.
8 and 8?
8 and 8.
What are you going to do now if you're gray-haired Leon and gray-haired Connor? Do you stay with the organization because you've been here for 21 fucking
Are they
years?
the new old boys club?
This is it, right?
Yeah,
I think
Red Wine Summit.
If they win a couple cups, I swear to God, Oilers fans, like Ovi right now is half dead. He's old and fat, and Caps fans are like, yay. I swear to God, if they win cups, Oilers fans would cheer for a 43-year-old Connor and a 44-year-old Leon.
Oh,
and then they're like, we're going to be co-GMs. Everyone's like, yay, they're co-GMs.
I'm in. I'll get
me
both
out,
of their
though.
names put on the back of a jersey.
What if they don't win by then?
Oh,
Tyler.
nice one.
You
Tyler.
bum-ass bum.
Tyler, go cheer for the Senators. They just signed Dmitry Kulemin.
Yeah, which is
Go cheer for them, you jerk.
that is very funny. Okay, we're going to continue the hockey talk. I forgot to say off the jump that today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Oh my Lord. Can I tell you how much Wilhock I ate on Friday?
Please do.
So I was just doing my thing at the Oilers Nation Open and I'm cruising around. And all of a sudden I was sans cart. I lost my cart. So they were like, Bag Milk, you wait here. We'll come back and pick you up. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there kind of like by where we were all signing up.
Yeah.
And I look over in a box. There was a box full of beef jerky. And I'm like,
Drunk guy luck.
and I was just ramming it in my my hoodie pocket. So anytime Kennedy would pick me up to do another lap, she was like, do you have more beef jerky in there? I'm like, would you like a bag? I ate so much of it on Friday and I regret nothing, Liam. My sodium probably does, but you know what? That's a problem for another day.
I too ate a boatload of delicious Wilhock beef jerky that I stole from the golf tournament pile. And I was like eating it at home, doing some shit. And then I went to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night and my tongue was a piece of Wilhock beef jerky. And I went and had the most satisfying water chug in the bathroom probably in the last 10 years. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. I ate so much delicious beef jerky. And I just pounded Joey Chestnut style about a liter of water.
The problem
Thank
with
you, Wilhock.
the Wilhock beef jerky is it's so delicious. Those individually packaged bags that they give us,
Yeah.
I'll clean one of those out. In
You will
15
eat as
seconds.
much as you have on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So golf tournament went off great. And I actually love that I'm getting to say this before Jay and Chalmers were on
Yeah,
the podcast.
yeah, because I was waiting for that.
Okay, so we're doing our match 2v2. They had Neil Thomas play with them.
Yeah, no joke at all.
Who's that?
Our
The
buddy who's
number 2 ranked golfer in Alberta.
Yeah. We've known him since he was a little kid. I've never seen him bogey. I've known him for 25 years.
Yeah. So when I was
That was
doing
their
the,
ringer they showed
when I
up
was
with.
doing the whole, hey Jay, you gonna give us strokes? And he was like, no. They still only shot 15 under.
Okay.
And
Neil Thomas shot 16
I was going to say, what did Neil shoot?
well, so they didn't have that good of a day.
Okay.
And me, Ryan, Pat, and our boy Brad were playing some pretty good golf.
No Charles this year?
Charles was sick the day before, so we had to go find an emergency
son
replacement.
of a gun.
Charles was sick?
Charles, the
Charles.
guy that Ryan, our usual bid winner, usually plays with. Anyways, So we get to the 16th, that par 3 that you birdied last year.
Ah, yes.
And we
No
started,
big deal, eh,
and
Liam?
we
It's a
started on
big
hole
one.
1. So there's 3
so you're
holes
coming
left.
through.
And we had both Kennedy and Brett come up to us where we played that hole. And they're like, hey, they just parred this par 3. And Jay is like yelling at the guys. He's like, fuck, the match is over. We just screwed ourselves. So Jay is apparently livid at this point.
Best.
We know, because we had checked in on their score a couple times, that we're 3 shots back heading into that par 3.
Okay.
We birdie it. So
Sorry,
we know
the par 3.
the par 3, yeah.
Okay.
So we know we're 2 shots back. We're going to 18. We'd parred the next hole or whatever it was. We know we're 2 shots back. Or sorry, maybe at that point it was 1. But the point is they birdied it. Okay. So yeah, then we were 2 shots back again. And we're like, okay, like we're kind of cooked. But we know Jay's mad. So as we approach the green for our long birdie putt, we were like, fuck it. Let's tell him that we're tied. And then even if we make this birdie putt, like we'll just like laugh and be like, no, you guys won. So we go up, we miss the birdie putt, we tap in our par putt. And as we tap it in, we've lost by 2. These guys go, all right, playoff hole. And they jump in their carts and drive to the 18th hole again. So us as a group are kind of sitting there being like, oh shit. Okay. Playoff hole. So we go and we tee off and we're like, okay, boys, we have to lose. Like, we can't let it go this long and then beat them. And after a playoff hole, be like, we lied about it. Like, that's, it's gone too far. So we go, they make their birdie. We have like a 15-footer for birdie.
It was wild, actually.
It was so long. So we huddle up and we're like, okay, let's all intentionally miss this. And the match is done, right? Yep, sure.
No.
So I come up, scream it long. Pat Puff comes up, screams it long. Brad comes up, hits it long. Ryan, the auction winner, comes up, accidentally nails it.
Oh, no.
Not only did he nail it, though, it was like a 20-foot putt, and he did it with a hockey stick.
He had a hockey stick putter.
When you're fake tied, but actually leading.
So now we've birdied it again. And Chalmers and Jay go back to 18.
Oh, no.
Another playoff hole.
How can they do that?
They were
kept
just doing loops around the 18th hole.
driving back to the start of the 18th hole. We were the last group on the course.
So just for fun, though. There's no impact on the tourney at this point.
I mean, no, because the winning score team pint won with like a minus 19.
Oh, wow. Cheetahs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're playing this one again, and the 4 of us are huddled up again before our tee shot. We're like, guys, we have to lose. So thankfully, all of our tee shots were terrible,
A few.
and
See-
we lost.
And by the way, Tyler tells me that all this is happening. I'm like, do not lose this.
Oh, win
You
it.
go out and win, and then confess it to the boys on the podcast that
The
they
next
actually
day,
won.
yes.
So they
served so cold
I
the
was gonna say,
revenge.
do they think that?
They still think they only won by 1.
Oh.
They are, and so I can't wait. Now all the listeners are in on the secret too. So don't ruin it on socials. And then when we come back to do the pod on Monday or whenever we do the pod next, because we're in Canmore, I don't know when we're doing the pod next. Anyways, whenever we do the pod next,
I'll do the pod.
We'll confess to Jay and Charles what actually happened, and it'll be very
Still
funny.
wouldn't be here. It would just be you telling
But
everyone
I'll tell
again.
myself on the air by myself.
Oh,
I
that's,
did. I wish you guys would have pulled out the quote unquote win, because that bit would have been so funny.
This reminds me of in North Korea, the one golf course how Kim Jong-il reportedly had like 11 holes in one in his only round of golf. This is
Amazing.
it. Like, we can't let them know the truth. We can't let them know they didn't get 11 holes in one this round.
So Jay was upset because he wanted to win the whole thing.
He was upset because he thought they were letting the match slip
All
away
between you.
because we were lying about our score.
Awesome.
And when we were going back for the second playoff hole, Chalmers was like, "Let me see your scorecard." I was like, "Yeah, what?"
Also, like when Jay sunk what would have been the quote unquote the winning putt
Yeah.
after on playoff 2, the elation from that team was like,
It's like they won the Masters.
Yeah, they
it
played.
really was.
Jay's very
play hard
competitive in
on it.
golfing.
Yeah.
The
Last
hat
year they-
came flying off,
So
chucked it skyward.
so did we have a better score this year or last year?
It's technically this year. We finished at 13 this year, whereas last year we finished at 12.
Damn it.
So we're better by 1.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna say we'll do better next year.
amazingly, I took a handful of hacks on Friday as well. I was dummying balls.
Really?
Everybody who got me to hit off their drive
Interesting.
set their best ball. Also, I want to give another shout out to Big Mike, who is our head of tech here at the Nation Network, and Ivan, who is one of our programmers. They're setting up a dynasty, my friends. 2 teams win prizes at the Oilers Nation Open. The winning team
Oh, the worst.
and the worst team. And for 2 years in a row now, Those boys have come in dead last by a sizable margin. They're setting up a dynasty.
How bad are they?
I think they shot like 5
like-
over, 6 over.
It was like plus 10 or something. Like it
maybe
was-
they're in the
Oh, wow.
80s.
Good for them.
and I think they maxed out on mulligans too.
Yeah.
Takes a real effort.
It's fantastic.
Pretty funny.
Like,
Also-
you should fire them. No, we need them. We need them big time.
Also, just one last thing about the tournament. Tyler, please confirm. Fuck the Wasps this year.
Oh, dude, the Wasp everywhere is so
Did you get
bad.
bit?
Cow.
I didn't get bit. No.
Man,
think
should
Aaron
go,
did.
you should go look at Dog Patch right
Oh,
now.
I
They've
know.
deployed anti-wasp technology on the deck, which is like lemon juice and
It's just
something.
orange juice.
Is it?
Well, you can do just
And
pure
vinegar,
orange
I think.
juice.
Too.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're like the rivers are clogged with the dead. Like there's dozens of wasps in various throes of death.
Dude,
down
golf courses and stuff right now, it's insane.
They were like, you would have to like play hoops to get something in the garbage can out of the Millwoods golf course. Cause like, you know, there's beer cans and there's cider
Yeah.
cans, all that stuff. So they were just swarming with wasps everywhere.
The on Tuesday when I walked by here, so this morning they had them on like the plant things, but on Tuesday they were on the ground and they had to see through the way I was going to walk, so I had to quickly jump over the wasps. It was deadly.
That's crazy.
The other day I went to a wedding
there. Of
and
wasps.
not of wasp, but a wasp appeared
Oh,
on the bus and stung my friend. Literally just was like, I have a wasp stuck in my arm. And then my girlfriend flicked it off.
we were out for
It's
breakfast
crazy.
on the weekend with our niece and nephew and Wanya Jr. and everybody in the wasps were there. My little niece, she sits there and there's a wasp near her and she goes, think like a flower, think like a
Oh my
flower. So the wasp didn't bug her. Think
They
like a
really are
flower.
assholes, wasps.
They're little shits.
Fuckers.
The bees are dying, but the wasps are thriving.
They're
Thanks,
thriving.
Obama.
Yeah, way to go.
Way to go,
Barack.
Trudeau.
Yeah. Where did I want to go next? Actually,
Dmitry Kulemin?
what's his name? Nikolai.
Nikolai Kulemin.
Yeah, Nikolai Cool.
CEO of Telegram?
38 years old.
38 years old, just got signed to a PTO by the Senators. He's 38, hasn't played in the NHL in 6 years.
28.
I think the franchise in Ottawa is thriving.
Yep, I agree.
I think that's great.
He was actually not a bad player, if I remember
Oh, go
correctly.
look at his last couple of years. It's pretty terrible.
Why are they doing this? Just
No one
a
knows.
storyline?
I think so. Maybe just some good
He's going to sell
PR.
some tickets.
Like that guy who pitched for the Texas Rangers in the Golden Lasso parking lot?
There you go.
Isn't it a similar situation?
Very similar.
Speaking of pitching,
Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about that actually, but first we're going to step aside for a quick break. All right, back on the Real Life Podcast, back half of the pod. And yes, speaking of pitching, what we were doing before the break, yesterday, I'm sitting there, I'm doing 2 fantasy drafts at once. Insane. One on my phone,
Insane.
and I have alerts turned on for our guy Eric Sabrowski, proud nation citizen,
Great guy.
St. Albert boy, St. Albert Edmonton boy, played his ball in St. Albert, and has been up with the Cleveland Guardians for exactly 7 days. I watched him that first day here at the office, pitch in the bullpen, warm up, and then they didn't put him in. And I get the notification, he's in the game. I was like, holy shit. So I take my phone. I'm going. Also, he's in the real life fantasy football draft. So he was auto picking last night. So this draft
that's
was
so funny.
come on, like prioritize, Eric. Like we got a
Come on.
draft going
Yeah.
on.
Your major league debut, or do you want to get in the fantasy football draft?
Listen,
It was like, so I found a stream, pull up the game, watching him run out of the bullpen for his first ever MLB appearance.
Timmy Trumpet?
No, but
Oh.
like just looking at him making
Yeah.
his major league debut was honestly one of the coolest sporting things I've ever seen before. Like, man, I don't know. Just again, knowing his story, being a guy from here, I played with him for a couple of years. Like, it's insane, man. It's so cool. 5th ever Edmonton born player to appear in a major league baseball game.
So how was his performance? How was the game?
First pitch. So he came in relief in the 7th inning.
What was the score?
They were down 4-1.
Okay.
So still a relatively tight ball game and a pretty big ball game at that too. Comes in, there's a runner on second. His first pitch, he screamed it to the backstop. Wild pitch, first pitch.
What does screamed it mean?
Like overthrew the catcher.
Oh, he missed him.
Yeah, he missed the catcher, went to the backstop.
That is good.
Runner goes from second to third. And I was watching that. I was like, oh my God, no. Like, is this going to go bad? Second pitch was a ball. Third pitch was a ball. He was pitching against Yuli Gurriel, World Series champion with the Astros. So he's down 3-0 to Gurriel, and he fought back, struck him out.
Really?
Attaboy.
First batter he ever faced, he struck out, had the big reaction to it, came out for the 8th,
Attaboy.
struck out the next batter, Paul DeJong, One out, got the next guy to fly out, gave up a double, and then got the third out. So he pitched 1 1/3, struck out 2, didn't give up a run, only 1 hit. Like really damn good numbers for him. And his stuff was looking unreal too. Like, it's an awesome story, man. A guy who's listened to this podcast is playing in the majors.
Well, even just thinking about like last time I saw him, he was still recovering from Tommy John, and he had like
second Tommy John.
He had that like robot arm
You said
thing.
2 Tommy Johns?
2 Tommy Johns. He's 26.
Damn. So
So
now
yeah.
is he good to go though? Like, don't you come out of those stronger
You're
sometimes?
kind of supposed to, but he ended up having to get 2. But yeah, the last time he would have been at a nation event would have been the season opening party we did at Campio that year.
Yeah.
And he was there in his big Tommy John brace.
Yeah. And he was showing me how he had to like click the thing open to keep his arm straight. It's
Oh, for God's sakes.
Jeez.
Crazy.
His
Congrats.
post game was cool.
Post game was very cool.
What do you say?
He got pretty emotional.
Did he?
Yeah, he was
yeah.
just saying it was
Yeah.
cool. Like everyone who's been on the journey with him and stuff like that.
We should clip it and put it on the nation. I love that we're
We have-
following.
we did.
No. His post game?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
We got it on the site this morning.
This morning? Okay. I love that we're following the Guardians pitching rotation as though it's Oilers news.
Dude, I've watched so much. I have opinions on the Cleveland Guardians now because I've been watching them so much over the last 7 days because I've just been so excited to see them in a game. So they're playing the Dodgers this weekend, and those games are usually on Sportsnet. So he should be on TV if anyone wants to try to watch Nation Citizen Oilers fan.
Is
Good
there
Edmonton
usually
product.
rules? Like if he's called up, does he have a reasonable expectation of finishing the year? Or what do you think?
Relief pitchers? It's volatile.
Is it?
And especially because, again, he doesn't have a lot, like any service time. So
What does that mean?
like once you accrue enough service time in the
Military.
majors, you can only be sent up and down so many times. You run out of things called options, which is like in hockey, once you hit a certain age, you have to go on waivers, right? In baseball, it works more along the lines of you can be sent up and down like 10 times in your career. So until you've hit those 10 times, sometimes they like to shuttle you up and down. However many times it is, I don't know exactly,
But played well in his one appearance. So probably will stay a little
Sick.
bit longer.
there's always that stat that you can take whatever it is, the smallest stadium currently in the majors. And if you took every player to ever appear in a major league game, dead or alive, you would not fill that stadium. So like he is in such an exclusive club. He is in the 1%. I was chatting with our guy, Jason Greger, about this because he was talking, me and him were talking about this earlier this morning, and then it tied into Noah, where he was like, yeah, like Noah Greger's played 300 games in the
That's
NHL.
so crazy, man.
He's in the, like getting to the majors is the 0.1% in any sport. Playing more than 100 games or more than a season and a half in your respective
Top
sport.
half of players.
It's in the 0.1% of the 0.1% almost at that point, right? Like it's crazy. So yeah,
Where is Noah this year?
Ottawa with Kuhlman. They're
Is-
probably going to fight for a spot.
I guess my question for you, Tyler, now that you have Guardians takes, is Eric goated?
Is he goated with the sauce? He might be.
Is he the
Lefty
Riz god?
reliever, 6'4".
Sick.
If Cleveland doesn't
Handsome,
Well
very handsome.
mannered.
well-mannered,
A
It is-
gentleman.
former Edmonton.
when you Google Eric Sabrowski's name, first 2 articles. First one, Oilers Nation. Eric Sabrowski becomes 5th Edmonton-born player to appear in an MLB game. Next article, Sports Illustrated writing an article.
Nice.
Suck it.
One's more important than the other.
I once saw Eric Zabrowski hit a home run at the Remax Field
Really?
For the
against
prospects.
Swift Current.
For the
Yeah.
prospects.
I was on-
He played for the prospects?
Yeah, he was on the Prospects. I was the only home run I ever saw get hit, and I was sat behind the home plate.
I was doing play-by-play for that game.
Really?
Yeah.
He smoked
call?
that thing. Home run!
Oh, actually, I probably do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I
That
can
was the
probably
call.
find it on my old laptop.
That's funny.
You just send that to him.
Yeah, I should send it to him.
You might see me.
Maybe. Yeah, right.
Me behind home plate. Woo!
Dinger. Anyway, shout out to Eric. Can't
Shout
wait
out
to
to Eric.
watch him. I mean, hopefully finish off the year. We're getting to the end. Pitches well enough in the last month. Maybe he can be on the playoff roster. That'd be
Oh,
cool
they're a
as hell.
playoff team.
Oh yeah, they are. They're fighting for the top spot in the division. That's why the game yesterday against Kansas City was a big one.
Did they
Major
win?
League debut, playoff roster, Ohtani money.
1,
By
2,
the nation.
3. You could be his interpreter.
That's right.
I got bad news. You're going to Japanese prison.
Okay, a couple other things.
Eric, I stole $4 million from you.
40.
$40 million
Wink.
from you.
I had no idea.
Another question.
Yeah.
How does a contract work? Is it similar to like the NHL and AHL where he'll have like an MLB contract?
If I understand it right, I think he's on the equivalent of a 2-way.
Gotcha. Cool.
So every day's with the Guardians, is he getting them MLB bucks? Oh shit.
Gets a ride on the
Nice.
PJ too. Like, come
Oh,
on.
shit.
All good living.
Nothing but smoked salmon.
I wonder if he would donate a signed jersey next year for one of our auctions.
Maybe we should just buy one and put it
1000%
up in
would.
the
Do
office.
we do auctions?
Yeah, can we just put one up in the office?
Yeah, either way. Eric?
He belongs on the wall with Smitty. He's
Of
goated.
course.
Eric, if you're on the plane home from Los Angeles after your series against the LA Dodgers and you hear this,
Yeah.
we would like a jersey for the office.
Enjoy the smoked salmon, sir.
Yeah, or 10% off the Guardians online store when you use the code ERIC10. I went to buy a Nail Yakupov Kunlun Red Star jersey after
Everyone does.
Yeah.
because it's fucking dope.
I mean, it is.
Did you see the photo I put on Insta of him wearing his new jersey with his gloves?
No.
It's such a nice uni, right?
look.
So I put it
I
up and
gotta
I'm
look.
looking at it, right? OilersNation.com on Insta for anybody listening. Back 2 days ago or whatever. Bright red and yellow. Sick jersey, right? I was going to get Yakupov, then put the K on it for captain because I'm balling like that.
Yep.
But every KHL website store is down. And I'm like, why is that? Then I remember the war and how they're not allowed to have Swift financial access. So they can't take credit cards on KHL sites. So you
Well,
can't
those are
buy
nice.
merch. Look at that jersey, man.
Slick.
You can't buy it anywhere, though.
Yeah, those
Oh,
are sharp.
Those gloves are
Check
boss.
DH Gate.
Say what, meow?
DH Gate?
That's not part of sanctions?
No, well, definitely not.
I would love, but it has
Hey,
to be.
they got him on DHgate, $74.
Let's see what it looks like.
What is DH?
Yeah, man.
I don't know who name 10
What's
is.
the
but you can
quality,
probably
though? Is it going
change
to
that.
come in like the letters are
No,
going to...
it's actually, it'll be okay.
It'll be a knockoff jersey.
Yeah, don't wash it.
Don't you think it's a dope Yakupov jersey to get?
I think it's outstanding if you got that.
Wow, they have every style of Kunlun jersey. You can
You
get a
could-
white one, a red one, their third
Can
jersey.
you give me a Griffin Reinhardt one?
From Kunlun?
Didn't he play for Kunlun?
He did play for Kunlun.
Now we're talking,
Yeah,
Leo.
there you go.
Oh, matching.
What do you guys
Cleveland
want?
jersey?
Parker Fu, Spencer Fu? Remember Spencer Fu?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm friends off with Spencer Fu.
Remember that
Remember we
summer
were
we-
trying to recruit him. And then he went to Calgary.
Ugh, played one game.
Oh, my God.
Now he's in the 1%.
All the good players play for Kunlun Red Star at
Yeah,
some
but-
point. I think that's a dope jersey.
All the good ones.
The KHL stores being down because of the deteriorating international scene. And I'm like, but what about the jerseys?
Wow.
Too
Gotta
bad.
get your fit in order.
Cody CC on What Chaos BM. You said you tuned into that with our boys Pete Blackburn, DJ Bean.
Yeah, I was just like, it was kind of sad.
Draisaitl was going to take a discount if they didn't trade CC. Report Nation Real Life podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just kind of like, so the boys were just chatting, and DJ Bean says he wanted to see Hugo, who is Cody Cece's dog. And Hugo won the dog speed race last year. Cody Cece, I'm paraphrasing, go listen to the episode. He told a story about how the joke in the dressing room was that Connor McDavid was going to show up with a greyhound at the next skills comp so that he would win the dog race.
Connor don't like losing.
Connor don't like losing. But then as he was finishing off the story, he kind of goes, I guess it doesn't matter now.
That is tough. Listen, you're in the pros, you're in the NHL, you're making all that money,
It's just
but like getting traded away from the Oilers to go to the Sharks, leaving all your friends that you've been with for 3 years, that sucks.
Once an Oiler, always an Oiler, though, but not really.
I want a Brandon Yip.
I was going to say there's a couple extra Oilers on this list.
Yeah.
Adam Glendenning.
Clendening.
Anyone?
Clendening? You know what? I change it. I don't want.
How about this one? Thomas Urko?
Oh, Yurko?
Anyone?
Okay.
Yerky jerky?
Okay, you know what?
What about Chelios? Not Chris. Jake.
That his kid?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Why is Yak rocking a 6'5"? In nod to the 6'4", but +1 because he's better?
Yeah, it's inflation.
Bro.
Imagine Connor played one season for Kunlun Red Star.
Some weird holdout before his next extension. He's like, I'll go play in Kunlun.
No, they're just like, here's $75 million US on a 1-year contract. He's like, okay.
Like the Ronaldo thing.
How many points would he get?
Wasn't
All of
McDavid
them.
drafted to the KHL?
Yeah, he would have been for sure.
Everyone is.
McDavid was drafted to the KHL.
Yeah,
They always
they
throw
don't
out like
do
a
it
5th round
anymore.
pick on a guy like that just in case.
Yeah, I don't think they do that.
That's a
often
sick
anymore.
jersey. Get whatever team drafted him, McDavid made.
Get Connor to sign it.
Only the real ones know.
Connor
Only
McDavid was drafted 77th overall in the KHL draft.
by whom?
Okay, now say that name.
Avangard Omsk.
No, this team doesn't exist
Selected
anymore.
by Medviskak Zagreb.
Zach,
You're telling me he was drafted by them and didn't report
Yeah.
In the second round.
And
too.
he's not even Russia. That's Croatia.
in the KHL?
It was. I don't think they exist anymore.
You think that they're not a team anymore because they're wasting second round picks on Connor McDavid in the hopes
As
he's
they're
coming over?
filling out the paperwork, are they just like, our lives don't even matter? And then
Yeah,
the
he's like-
team shuts?
They write his name down. They go, maybe,
Question mark?
maybe.
I didn't realize Tom Brady was drafted by the Expos.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
He was that good at baseball?
Like really
Yeah.
shitty round too.
He was the last ever active athlete to be an Expos draft pick. All the other Expos draft picks have obviously had their major league careers ended by like the point Tom Brady retired. So he was the last one. Last pro athlete with ties to the Expos.
Speaking of foosball, we just held our nation draft. I
Yeah.
have got a winning roster, Wanye.
Oh, you could.
I knew three of the names of the people I selected.
And
So,
he went 2 tight ends real early. Bold.
yeah, that's the way.
see, listen, I'm just out here. I got to switch things up. You guys are doing your standard drafts. I'm out here. I'm doing different. I've got different ideas.
That's a good idea.
Here are my draft insights.
Go ahead.
Caleb Williams, because he wears nail polish.
Mhm.
Pick OJ. No, he's dead. OBJ,
Mhm.
Who's injured.
because he's got that Riz.
Okay.
And his brother was on Love Island.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he identify as that guy's brother?
He was trying very hard to keep it under wraps, but every now and then he'd be like, "Oh, well, people just like they reach out to me all the time on socials because of my brother," and they were like, "Well, who's your brother?"
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
there was, "Oh, well, it's OBJ."
Like when Frankie Grande was on Big Brother and he was trying not to say that Ariana was his sister, but that's all he has in life. They're going to break that they're OBJ's brother.
You picked Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Good local boy.
Got it.
You picked an Edmonton football player?
Sherwood
not?
Park
Good
football
man.
player.
Smart.
Sherwood
only-
Park. Sherwood Park player.
Now we can all revel in his success.
No. You
Metro
said Eric
Edmonton.
Zabrowski was from
Once we
St.
annex
Albert.
Sherwood Park,
I tweeted yesterday. I said Edmonton native.
Well, I'm taking
If
Chuba
Sherwood
for
Park
Sherwood
wants
Park.
to be
I
separate,
don't know him.
we'll go in there and take the mayor and bring them back to the remand center and declare Sherwood Park ours. If
Mhm.
you're from Sherwood Park and you do something cool, you're from Edmonton.
We're going
That's
to
how
annex
it
Sherwood
works.
Park.
We let you use our freeways.
Mhm.
Assholes. So
It's
you
called
pick,
the Sherwood Park Freeway.
yeah, because for now, until we decide to change it. So Hubbard plays for the Panthers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is he good?
I don't know.
I think he's gonna have a good year.
He'll be
Good job, Bag Milk.
I think I did a great job.
Did anyone pick Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah,
think
he
he
went
went
second
second
overall to Aaron.
Second, who went first?
Josh Allen.
Not Jake Allen. Josh Allen.
Jake Allen went first overall in the NFL draft. It was a bold pick. Pick.
Travis Kelce.
I did.
Yeah.
Good job.
Again, I was picking people who I knew what their name was.
If you pick Travis Kelce in fantasy this year, you get an email for a secret Taylor Swift song.
Finally.
Oh.
My favorite thing, speaking of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, was the fake breakup thing that they had going
isn't
on.
fake.
Oh, his
It's AI.
It was the AI generated thing.
yeah, and his agent and them are like taking legal action. It's like a whole thing now.
Yeah. So
It's
Somebody used AI to say, write what a contract ending thing
Yeah.
would look like between
Yep.
them and then pretended and printed it off.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Bang on what happened.
Yeah.
Wow. We're getting deep into the rabbit
Oh,
hole.
we're way in the weeds.
Swifties. Crazy.
That's like the biggest news of the last month from the NFL was this dating contract.
Thank goodness. It's usually something terrible.
Did you see how mad they
So-
got about the NFL video they dropped to start the year showed Taylor Swift 5 times?
Really?
Yeah,
And,
it's like season coming up. Taylor.
Taylor Swift 5 times. The reigning MVP Lamar Jackson. Uno.
Who is my
Oh, wow.
quarterback, by the way?
You have Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I
Sounds to me like you just cleaned up.
Yeah.
I've got a win coming.
I did pretty well too. I
Going
think.
up against Tyler in week 1.
We're doing a survivor pool for Owen every day.
Go to
Like the
Liam's
show
Twitter.
Survivor?
Yeah, very similar.
Which season?
This is season 1.
I see.
Yeah.
We're going back to when Richard Hatch won.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm picking Richard Hatch then. I know
And then he
was.
won that weird Pontiac Aztec, the yellow Pontiac Aztec. You
Yeah.
could sleep in the back.
He always had his dong out too.
Yeah. And then they're like, you win this Pontiac Aztec. And he goes, I'm just going to go to jail.
Oh yeah, he didn't pay taxes or something.
You got to pay on the Aztec.
Yeah, you got to pay a tax on the Aztec.
You guys all watch Big Brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up.
Well, I'm not caught up either because I think I've quit.
I think I'm done after.
I think
Tucker's-
I'm done after the last eviction.
Yeah.
I didn't even
No.
watch it. I didn't know what had happened because I was traveling. But then when I was in the US, the episode came on. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I assumed Angela left, and then the episode started, and he's gone.
Last night's veto episode is outstanding.
But who are the? I
I
just
have no one to root for.
Yeah, I don't care
None
anymore.
of them will be deserving winners, except maybe Quinn.
Root
No,
for
sorry.
chaos.
I don't think any of them deserve it. I don't like T-Core.
No, she stinks.
Chemo, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's fine, but he doesn't win anything. He's just got a social game. Somehow those two run the game, and they're not
You
even
cheer
good.
for Cam because he played in the CFL.
That's the
He
thing. Like,
stinks
I
at
just
the game.
don't care about any
A
of these
guy played in the
people anymore.
CFL.
Played
Yeah.
for the Elks, right?
No, he was in camp, I think.
But he played. He
I
was
think-
here.
I think so.
Yeah, I just don't think any of them deserve to win. Cedric and Tucker were my two favorites, and they're both gone. They were literally playing the
Last
game.
night, the veto last night made me laugh out loud. And I wish you guys had seen it so that we could talk about it.
Well, does it? Was it funny because of what they were doing to each other, or did someone do something stupid?
Both.
Oh,
Interesting. Because
Maybe
I am just not into it anymore. I think Angela's the worst person they've had in the show in forever.
she stinks.
That's why I love that she's in the house.
Oh, I can't
She's
stand her.
Insufferable.
Mackenzie's okay. I
She's
could
a babe.
I could get behind her.
Gross.
To win. I didn't mean that. Leah sucks at the game. God damn it.
Liam, pull yourself together.
So I'm not gonna watch unless I watch.
Okay, there's two other things I have on my prep. We were talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL starting. How about the bank robbing Chiefs fan who was at some point a super fan named Chiefsaholic who'd show up to every Chiefs game, pretty much everyone home and away, dressed as a wolf.
How do you get the money, you ask?
Being sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison for bank
Whoa.
robberies.
He'll be out in 15.
They still do that nowadays?
Bank robberies?
Yeah. I thought
So,
it was like a 30s. thing.
Babudar is his last name. Was initially arrested in December of 2022 after an armed robbery. He was released on bond, jumped bail, robbed more banks, got caught again in July of 2023, admitted to robbing more than $800,000 from banks as a part of his plea deal, and has been ordered to pay more than $530,000 in restitution to his victims.
Only 5/8 have to be repaid so he can keep the other 300?
He's also facing a $10.8 million civil judgment from the bank teller
he'll
he
need
threatened
that.
with a
I think
gun.
one of the big problems was that we stole that much money and his costume was kind of shitty.
Well, was he wearing the costume when he was robbing the banks? It probably gave it
It was
away.
like, there's
Oh,
that
yeah,
guy. He did it again.
He totally was.
Speaking of robbing banks, I'm flush with cash because I'm doing that money glitch for Chase Bank. You see
Oh, you
this one,
mean
yeah?
kiting checks?
Oh, you
people
mean
think this
check
just
fraud?
got invented?
It
Jesus
really is one of the craziest things the internet's done.
I-
Like,
The
I
guy
love
who
it.
does it and he's taking the money that he just fraudulently obtained and throwing it in the air. Like, okay, what are you gonna do with the money that you got? There's a window in time here. You could get maxillofacial surgery, move to Honduras with 20 grand, probably live a good life. I'm going to throw the money in the air in jubilation outside the bank, and passersby will take the money. And I say, I don't give a shit because I'm going to do this forever.
Infinite loop.
Infinite money glitch.
I love it. I don't know that I've been so invested in a TikTok trend as this one.
There's a certain type of idiot right now in the States that's living in an era where you can shoplift up to $1,000 and receive a citation in the mail. They think that the banks just give away money. Like, these kids don't know shit.
Chase Bank may be one of the biggest banks on earth, but surely they're not going to notice.
They're like, only we get to steal money, not you.
how about this in the States? Over a third of Gen Z and millennials are using fintech digital banks, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle as their primary checking account right now.
One time I went to work for a real job, your M-check.
I keep mine buried in the yard.
And this lady that I worked with goes, oh, I just moved condos and I only have a cell phone. And then later on, she came up for like peer review and I was like very stupid on the form. I don't second guess people who use technologies in ways I wouldn't anymore. I was like,
That's fair.
you only have a cell phone? Loser on a review. If you're only running Cash App and Zelle, to me, that sounds very stupid. But
I think financially it doesn't make any sense.
why? If you're just receiving payments from people and
It's being used as their own, like their paychecks are going into it.
sure. But like, they're like backed by tier 1 financial
I
institutions.
guess that's fair.
Listen, just write yourself a check, pop that in, and take out the
It's
money.
so funny that it's being viewed as a glitch.
Oh, wow.
That's
Like,
just
how
the
is that-
terminology of the day, though.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but it's like it's an infinite money glitch.
You know what it had
Only
me do? Have me go back and watch Catch Me If You Can again.
Oh, yeah. Here's the only infinite money glitch that works. You go to Subway.
Okay.
You order a sub. You say, extra tomatoes, please. You say, how much for the extra tomatoes? They go, it's free. So those tomatoes on your sub are free. You then take those tomatoes home and plant them.
Yeah.
You will grow a tomato tree from the seeds.
100%. You can do it
That
with
cost you
cucumbers
nothing. And all of the tomatoes that you sell are infinite money.
Yep.
Interesting.
Something to think about. You can do it with
Tyler.
the cucumbers too.
Yeah, I could do it with my cucumbers, my zucchinis.
You are a farmer after all.
Yeah. I actually spend a lot of money on
zucchini on a
farming.
sub.
There's your infinite
You
money
could.
glitch, Gen Z idiots.
Hey, moron.
Or a little check fraud.
Throwing the money in the air. Like, yeah, we did it. Fling.
In the
Imagine they
neighborhoods
threw
where-
the money in the air at the end of Ocean's 11, you dipshit.
People lined up around the bank. I love it.
It's insanity.
Listen,
Sorry.
TikTok is fantastic. Great ideas there. I would get all of your financial advice from TikTok.
This
That's
is
what I
why
reckon.
scammers work. This is how the world sees normal people as morons lined up around the corner thinking there's an infinite money glitch. So if you send enough DMs, somebody will believe you're a prince.
Somebody did, yeah.
Okay, we got to wrap up with a little bit of talk for our friends over at Bet365, the largest sports betting platform globally. Open an account today, get in on a huge range of markets by using the promo code Oily Bonus. That's the promo code Oily Bonus with our friends at Bet365. I got two for you guys. The first is all about our boy Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, coming off the big extension, they have a number for him over on Bet365 for how many goals he's going to score this year. BM, what do you think that number is?
I know that he's in the over 40, and I know that he's in over 50, and I also know that he's in over 60.
His over-under is 51.5 if you wanted it the nice plus 120. You think Leon can be a 50-goal scorer next year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I like that bet a lot, actually. Another one that I like, Tyler, was I might mess up the odds a little bit because I did this on Better Late Than Never the other day. Jeff Skinner to score 30 was like plus 150 or plus 160. Something like that.
That's a good bet.
It's a real solid
Jeff
bet.
Skinner's over-under is now all the way at 31.5.
I think he does it.
I think he can do that too. They have a lot of players on that. They have like probably 150 players up on Bet365. The other thing we're going to be doing on Thursdays for our friends at Bet365 is talking a little NFL football season gets going today. One futures bet that our boy AB put me on to, and I went and bet over on Bet365. Josh Allen, 4,000 plus passing yards this season at plus 170. I love that. Also, it is Thursday night football tonight, so I got a little same game parlay for our friends at Bet365. Cooked it up using their tool. Derrick Henry to score a touchdown. Noah Gray over 11.5 receiving yards. Mark Andrews over 4.5 receptions, and the total to go over 44.5. That bad boy comes in at plus 800. So NFL football's back. NHL hockey is just around the corner. Our friends at Bet365 have you all covered up.
If I may, really quickly,
Yep.
Bag Milk, have you ever seen the footage of the guys running into the Apple store and stealing all the iPhones?
No,
You've never seen this?
but I would like to look it
like
up.
organized retail theft swarms where they just run in and like 80 people rob a Michael Kors store. You've never seen this?
No, but I will be looking after we're done recording.
Well, the second half of my joke falls flat, but a lot of people will record people doing this. So they'll be running through the Apple
Smart.
store, snatching all the iPhones off the tables, pulling on the cables. You never see them leave the store and throw the iPhones in the air
No,
because that's what they stole. Why would they throw it in the air? If you went and stole 10 pairs of Yeezys from a Ross, you wouldn't shoot them into the river once you got out of the store in jubilation. So why would you steal money and then throw it in the fucking air?
I think that if you're going to commit a crime, the most important thing to do is record yourself doing it and then post it on social media.
And throw away what you stole. Like in National Treasure, when he steals the Constitution, then throws it like a frisbee into the Delaware in jubilation.
Last night I was crying. I was laughing so hard at now they're getting the update videos from some of these people who had the quote unquote infinite money glitch showing their bank accounts now with like 50 grand in the red.
Well, what'd you do with all the cash? Can't you just put it back in? I threw it in the air.
And then it goes, so they withdrew the 50 grand and then the banking fees are like another 12 or something like that.
NSFC.
Oh, Lord. Anyway,
Small thing no one will care about. The small nation of San Marino, who has not won a game of soccer in 20 years, is 10 minutes away from winning that game.
Who did they play?
You jinxed them.
Liechtenstein.
So is Liechtenstein going to be like, we fucked this up?
Yeah, like San Marino are the worst team in the world by
That's
a
cool.
million miles. And they
Now
have-
imagine
best
they
at something.
gave them the trophy and the guy threw it overhead into the stands and goes, fuck this shit.
Like when I robbed a Junko store and I went and threw all my jeans in the river after.
Oh, man.
Can't catch me if I don't have the jeans anymore. You know?
I'll just go to the back of the line and rob the ATM again. Are you going to do that? No, I'm going to go get a Philly cheesesteak. And then that's the end.
Smart.
All right, we'll be back at some point next week with a new episode of the Real Life Podcast. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.